Fulu coming to you with another video. This video probably will offend a lot of people, but the reason why I don't even waste my time or exert effort into going for a American Beleggio woman is for the simple fact that, like, there's certain things that it will only take God to correct those things, and I don't think that they are willing to actually have those things corrected. Like, I don't think they recognize, like, oh shoot, like, I'm doing this, like, I'm this is not good for me, you know what I mean? Like, this is like not normal, isn't good, you know what I mean? Like, dysfunction is like something I want, like dysfunction is something I need. I think that's the thing, like, and that's the whole problem, is that they're so used to that normal is not good, you know what I mean? And so I'm gonna take a look at a couple of examples of that. And so me, like, you know, for me, like, I come from, like, and I'm not saying this in an arrogant way, but I come from both my parents being in a household, and you know, although, you know, my dad was kind of like busy frontlining it and stuff like that, he still made time to instill the some valuable lessons inside of me, you know, that would help, you know, would shape me as a person. So let's get into it and see like what's going on. Let's see what's going on. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Let's look at the first one.
Relationship. Yes, we had a wonderful relationship. Why don't you tell me what was Lucas? You have brought Mrs. Lucas here to court in order to recover either your 2000 Camry that you said you upgraded, or the value of the upgrades that you put in the Camry that you say she took. And I know that you're wearing sunglasses, which usually is not permitted in a courtroom, but I understand that you have an eye issue, glaucoma, and the lights are bothering you. Mr. Lucas, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me how we got here and why it is you've needed to come to court to get this car back?
Well, Your Honor, there was nothing wrong. Nothing. You know, everything was normal at my house.
Everything was normal.
Nothing wrong. Nothing.
So that's the problem. Like, for a lot of these modern Western women, and especially like not especially Beleggio women, especially Western Beleggio women, they they can't function in normality. You know, like, normality is too much for them. You know, it's like something like, oh shoot, you know what I mean? I'm not used to this. But let's get more into it.
She done told me, baby, I'll be back. And she left, you know, this was back in November.
Mrs. Lucas, Mr. Lucas says you had a great relationship. Yes, we had a wonderful relationship. Why don't you tell me what was wonderful about it? It was wonderful. We were like best friends. I believe, you know, he's my soulmate. Everything was fine except he was too nice.
There you go. You know, it's a matter of time, you know, before that comes out, you know. You know, this was gonna come out. Now I wonder if he was too nice, or was he just you know what I mean, just doing what like a husband is supposed to do. That's what I'm wondering. But you know what I mean, like, this is just what it is, basically, you know. So let's continue on.
It's too nice. How does one be too nice to one's wife? He was too nice, like, it was scary nice. You know, it was like, you know the people it was like stalkerish nice, like, you too nice, it's too good. Give me an example, because I cannot conceive of the world that you have structured for me here. Right, I mean, you know,
too nice. Like he would say, "I love you," and it was like I was like, okay, I was waiting for the punch. When you gonna kick me? And it's scary. Some people just, you could be nice, but you could be too nice.
You're gonna have to do better than that.
So that's what she was used to. She was used to that kind of like dysfunction and stuff like that, to a point where, she almost wanted like someone to beat on her. She wanted someone to kick her. And I think that has to do with her past relationships. That's what she was used to in her past relationships. So when she found someone who didn't do this, it was like, oh shit, I'm not used to this.
He told you he loved you and this was a problem. You put up your hands like, when is the punch gonna come? You've been married for 5 years. Has he punched you yet?
No. No,
he doesn't punch you. He's a wonderful man.
Yeah, I'm just not used to that.
I love you is too much for you.
It's not too much, but you don't have to tell me like twice a week.
That's not even that many times to say I love you to your wife. It's like, I would think that like if it's your wife, you would want her to like tell you, like, or you would want to be told you're loved, like maybe, I don't know, like maybe like one time before bed, every day. I would think so, but I guess I'm wrong.
Can't figure that.
So if I found you a brother that would run around on you, call your names, and smack you upside the head, you'd be in heaven.
No, he don't have to call me names or smack me, but
he can run around on you.
No, not that either. But
what do you want from a man, Mrs. Lucas?
Yeah, you kind of see how like she's just talking in circles. Like, you see this, right? You see how it's like kind of like she's just going on and on, not really saying one thing, but then saying another thing, saying that she was waiting for the punch or the kick, but then saying that she doesn't want the punch or the kick. You see this?
She told me that's what she wanted.
What did she tell you she wanted?
Well, she told me she wanted somebody to cherish her and to run around on her. All the things that a good man and a good woman should want out of each other.
She only wanted that for your money, bro. Just keep that in mind.
I agreed that because I had been married before, and my ex-wife, oh my goodness, she scared me. If I ever did it again, it was going to be better than any other marriage, and I made the promise for keeps. It wasn't to be playing around, and if nothing's wrong, where are you going? There are women that would pull her head off her.
Well, the thing is, I think she thinks she can do better. That's the thing. That's the main thing. She's like, well, let me see what else is out there. You know what I mean?
For a guy like me.
I'm going to ask you one more time.
He made me gain weight.
Okay, how did he make you gain weight?
Because, now the man can cook. Brother can throw down. But he cooked 4-course meals for breakfast, lunch, dinner. 2 o'clock in the morning, if I was hungry, he wouldn't fix me a sandwich. This man would make a whole meatloaf, potatoes, a gravy, vegetables, a big stupid cup of Kool-Aid.
So at that point, why don't you tell him like, yo, this is too much? Like, why don't you just tell him like, hey, can you calm down a little bit? It's that simple, right?
I go to sleep right on that. Get up in the morning, he done fix French toast, pancakes, grits, biscuits.
So why don't you just work out? It's as simple as that.
Now I'm laying on food on top of the food I just laid on a couple of hours ago.
So your complaint is that this man cooked too often and too well, and
he made me gain weight.
Mrs. Lucas, have you lost your mind? coming in here whose men are leaving them because they got too heavy. You got heavy based on his. They won't cook, they won't clean, they won't pick up the house. They're controlling, they're unkind. You have got a guy who cooks for you. You have got a guy who doesn't care what size you are. You have got a guy who, who tells you that he loves you without being prompted or looking for sex. And you're telling me that you want to leave him because he treats a good black woman.
No, she's not a good black woman. But at the same time, I guarantee you she rations the sex to him too. You know, I guarantee you.
We're going to have to qualify. Like good black women, a queen ought to be treated. And what you're doing is taking I am a self-centered individual. And I don't appreciate what a man has brought to my table. So I'm going to make up some stupid reason. To say what it is stupid.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Let's look at another one.
So he pursued me a year prior to this. Yes.
Right.
And you ever notice, like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything like that, but you ever notice how like these women, like these modern, like Denejo or Belejo women, they don't really be even like that good looking. But they expect like dudes to like just roll out the blue carpet for them. You ever notice that?
So he kept trying, and he would see me out.
Why didn't, within that year he pursued you, what made you not want him?
I thought he was too nice. I thought I would walk all over him, and I
thought he was too nice.
That's how it usually works, you know. And I'm pretty sure he was, for him though, on the flip side, he should have just stopped pursuing, you know. He should have stopped pursuing. After the first no, you just move on. That's it. You don't keep on pursuing her. You just move on. That's it. That's the best thing you can do, you know.
Start wrong.
Oh, I did. I thought wrong.
I don't know what it is. There is this thought out there, this desire out there. I want me a soldier. I want me a hard dude. I want me this and that and the other thing. And those are the worst guys to get.
She wants Pookie, Ray Ray, you know, Tyrone. That's what most of them want, you know. They don't like, and then the ones who can't have you, they get mad, you know. I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm gonna be completely honest. I guess energy, like, people can sense energy, and I guess when it comes to like Western women, like, I have the energy, like, stay the hell away from me energy. You know, I'll treat you with respect. I'll, like, you know what I mean, do what I like. I'll like acknowledge that you're there, but I'm not going to like be like the other people who open up, who try to talk to you and stuff like that. I'm not going to be that guy. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, as I said in a previous commentary, I'm thinking about shoebox money. You know, I'm not thinking about you, basically.
Because they're not nice to you. And you get a nice guy and you're worried, like, I don't want him. Why wouldn't you want a nice guy? I mean, they always say nice guy finish last. That's because women are foolish.
I agree.
She's right. You know, and I think the thing is about this judge is she comes from the old school. So I think that's the reason why she shares some of the views that she has. You know what I mean? You know.
Laughing and ended up crying. You know, couples therapists say that infidelity is one of the hardest issues for couples to overcome. Infidelity was one of the major issues the couple brought before me in divorce court today.
Divorce court is now in session.
Mr. Douglas and Ms. Jones, the two of you have been together for 10 years, dating for 8 years, and you still can't decide whether or not you should get married. So you came in here to do one of my favorite things, which is before your vows, you wanted my opinion on your union. I gave you a compatibility test, which I looked at. You gave me your marriage license with permission to tear it up should I think your union is ill-advised. But I'm going to start out with you, Mr. Douglas. Who's the woman at work that looks like Halle Berry?
It's a lady that I worked with one night. We came together, started having conversations, started hanging out. She was a little red bone, nice little body like Halle
Redbone.
Berry.
I never heard that before. Heard it twice this week. Redbone.
But we began to hang out and spend a lot of time talking. And I already knew it was going to be just a sex thing, and it ended up being a sex thing, and that's all it was.
How long ago was it?
This was like back in 2008.
Okay. Did you know about the Redbone?
Yeah, I knew about it. I mean, I had my curious that something was happening at work, but I didn't know that, it would go further than what it did.
So, single mother, 37 years old, 3 kids from prior relationship. He's 36, he has no kids. So who would really win in that marriage if that were to happen? Like who would really be the winner in that marriage? Who would really benefit in that marriage? Let's just really think about it for a second.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You don't do that anymore, do you?
I don't do that anymore, but the majority of the women that I have been involved with have come from being at work. Because I spend more time at work. I don't
At
really
work,
think-
yeah. So if you can see it, you want to touch it.
Pretty much.
But Mr. Douglas, why have you two made it this long, at least for 8 years, even though you have a little, wandering eye problem?
I mean, because it's been a lot of good times. We've done a lot of things. I've done things with her that I haven't done with any other woman. We've taken trips together. We've had times where we've been able to conversate, go out. When we go out, we hang out, we have fun. And, she's had my back in certain situations, like when my grandfather passed and stuff like that. She has been there. So it's been some good and bad times, but the good, it's when we there, we there.
Well, what's the hesitation? You've got 8 years. How much more do you need to know about her?
Well, see, I don't really want to rush into it. I want to make sure that,
Oh, Rush went by 10 years,
A long time ago.
a few years ago. There's no danger in the rush. It's just, what's the problem?
I mean, basically,
Infidelity, trust,
what?
be real.
Infidelity and trust on his part or both of you?
Both.
Both. So,
He still doesn't believe that I'm done with the guy that I was messing with.
I think the best thing for these two, like honestly, and I'm speaking from the Western terms. I'm not speaking from like my own terms. I'm not speaking from that term. I'm speaking from like a Western way of thinking. I don't agree with what I'm about to say, but I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, if I was in this mindset, then I would probably do this. But if I were these two, I think the best thing for them would be an entanglement, like a Will and Jada type thing, like them being married, but them still messing around with other people. Because I mean, at this point, they invested all this time with each other. So I mean, it would probably be only right if they did that. That's my opinion.
how long were you messing with that guy?
About 2, maybe 3 years.
2 to 3 years
Yeah.
while you were messing with him? And he never found out?
Well, I found
He,
out.
he found out through phones, text messages.
But you got away with it for 2 years.
Yeah,
before he
I
found
got
out.
away with it. Most definitely. I hit it good. I hit it real
Until
good.
I found out.
How did you find out?
I went through her phone.
Yeah, exactly. And I pay my bill just as well as he pay his, so he should be going through my phone.
Let me ask you this, Miss Jones. You got this guy over here. You're wondering whether or not you should marry him, but you spent 2 years with another guy. What were you just enjoying the
It was just
the
a sex
bounty?
thing. Same thing with him. It was
Just
just
a
a
sex
sex thing.
So, in essence, when a guy does do things like you heard him say when she took me, we went on trips together and stuff like that. That's what he was for. That was his purpose. The fact that he kind of like went elsewhere and wandered around is probably it's probably like, I'm thinking that the sex was rationed with between him and her very sparingly. I think that's the situation that we're in, when it comes to these two.
And the reason why is because the things that he says and things that he does.
Well, what kind of things does he say and do?
He's got a slick mouth on him. Very slick mouth on him.
What kind of slick things does he say?
Slick things as far as he calls me plain Jane. He calls me stubborn. He's also called me lazy. It's been plenty of times where to the point that he hits below the belt. As far as he knows that I've always dated certain types of dudes. And when I date
What kind of those?
Hood boys, D boys, boys that sell
You like those bad boys.
Yeah, the bad boys.
So with that being said, she can't function with like regular Joes, like regular Joe Schmoes. Like she can't function with them. Now, granted, like spending a great time living in the district in which the late and great Hustle Man lived, where G.I. Joe OMG, shout out to him, where Comrade from the Ave, where Sandman the Goose, who first introduced me to the neighborhood in which I became a member in. Despite like me living in those parts and stuff like that and experiencing it up close, what happens and what goes down, like I always knew that, as my job as a man was to grow, continue to ascend to something better, and that job is still my job right now, to ascend to something better. But with a woman, it's not like that. With a woman, she can be, like, in the society we live in, she can get pumped and dumped by Pookie Ray Ray. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, it's okay, no problem. Boom, boom, boom. It's okay. Continue messing with these dudes. Continue messing with these D-boys, whatever the case may be. But then when the good guy does come along, it's like, oh, shit. Like, no, I can't do this. I'm not used to this kind of guy. That's how it usually works with them. It's unfortunate, but this is just where we are when it comes to these women. Now it must be said that they can only function with this kind of guy. That's what they're used to.
Get in trouble. Got the hat on backwards,
or sagging all of that.
Pants,
and he's not like that. And so he's to the point where I don't got to be all like that. You can sit up there and go back to him if you want to. I don't have no reason for being in this relationship.
Yeah, you should. I mean, yeah, he should. I mean, because obviously that's still what she likes,
Your kids are not mine. Those are not.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true.
My kids, I can leave whenever I feel like I want to leave.
Which he should. I mean, why are you wasting your time? Should.
That's slick talk.
Mr. Douglas, your response to that?
I do feel like when she was messing around with this cat, you know what I'm saying, that if you're going to spend your time with that...
Was he one of those slick guys, hanging pants guys, the guy you were messing with?
He was.
Okay, go ahead.
So I feel like that since she was taking her time being involved with this other person, he should be the one coming around being the family man, paying the bills, helping you whenever you're having a problem, not me. Don't spend your time with him and then come home and expect me to do this and do that. I'm not...
Yeah, perfect example of like having your cake and eating it too. Perfect example.
He got a point.
Yeah, you're right about that. But again, it was just a sex thing, just as well as it was a sex thing with his
Do you
female
people
companion.
really want to get married? Or what do you think marriage is? What I mean, what?
I
Why
gave
are
all
you
of mine
considering
up.
it? Because you guys seem to want to sleep around, which is that if that's what you want to do. Why consider marriage?
Well, to me, I've stopped mine. He doesn't think that I have, but I'm not currently with that guy. I left it alone, and I've told him that. We also had a sit down. We got everything.
They never really leave it alone. Like, to be honest, that guy is still one phone call away. Like, let's just be honest. Like, it's still one phone call away,
On the table. Okay, fresh start.
You know, it's
Let's
a little
start over.
hard for me to believe that it was a sex thing for 2 years. You
Yeah.
must have had some feelings for the man.
No, I did not. I did not have no feelings for him.
Sex
No, I
was
did
that
not.
good.
I'm one of those types that Josh is a perfect gentleman. Perfect gentleman. His parents raised him like that.
Yeah.
My thing is, I like to be manhandled when it comes to sex.
Oh.
He's the type to where he does flowers. He does this. I don't like that. I'm not that type of person. I'm not. He knows that. He knows that. That's just the. And his thing is, I'm laying in the bed. You see that I'm waiting and I'm willing. You wants to walk around the house. You want to get you something to eat. You want to listen to your music. Come on, Josh, let's go to bed. No, I'm gonna just sit up for a couple of more times. Well, you know what? But don't worry about it. So when you get ready to come to bed, once I get sleepy and go to sleep,
That's it.
that's it. And then you want to turn around and ask me, well, can I have some? No, go to sleep because you should have got to bed when you're supposed to have got to bed.
Never give your power to a woman. Never give your power to a woman. Always be at a point where if she wants some, let her earn it too. Like, don't let her earn her keep too. Like, if she wants some, like, maybe she had to do something to get it before. Like, she had to set up a good meal, or she had to do something like, she maybe had to buy you a gift or something like that. Always have that mentality. Never ever set yourself short and be in a position where you give your power away and where, you let her dictate, like, things like that. Like, because again, I'm speaking from the Islamic perspective of things, that, like, if there is no physical reason for your wife to withhold sex from you, that she has to make herself available to you whenever you so please. It's crazy because I just didn't want to go through the visa process, and I wasn't planning on going to Hajj. I wasn't planning on doing Hajj like this instant, but I met. I'll keep her anonymous, but there was a woman of African descent. She was living in Saudi Arabia, and obviously in Saudi Arabia, is they still kind of got their own thing going on when it comes to like how they view blacks over there. So, she was wanting me to entertain marriage with her, right? I said, yo, I'm gonna need it multiple times a day. I straight up said that. I said, like, I need it multiple times a day. I can't just have it once a day. Like, I'm gonna need it a lot. You know what I mean? And she said, I'll give it to you a lot. So, like, never let a woman, like, dictate the terms on when you need to get some, So always remember this.
I don't even know what to say to you. Is your timing a little off when it comes to the romance with this particular woman?
No, my role, it's not on point. It's just a thing. I like to get into a role play. Let's do something romantic. It ain't always gotta be no quickies and nothing like that. But when you tell me I gotta get it, what you think gonna happen? I'm gonna get mad. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I done got it. Sometimes I do be up walking around, chilling or whatever, because I'm not ready. When she goes out, it's like a whole lot of just drinking and hanging out till like 1:32, 2:30 in the morning and stuff like that. And this is like every weekend.
Divorce isn't easy. If you need help with your breakup, call and Instagram.
If you want to eat healthy and feel your best, you gotta try Kachava. Kachava is the world's healthiest.
Stuff like that. And this is like every weekend. And I feel like it needs to be more compromised. Like, yo, you spend time with your friends on Friday, we'll get together on Saturday. But
The thing is, her friends are single. Just always keep that in mind, that her friends are single. You know what I mean? And that her friends are trying to keep her single. Always remember that when a woman usually wants to go out with her friends a lot and she's with you, keep in mind that her friends are single. Also, what needs to be said too is that, like, when it comes to if a woman really values you and a woman really appreciates you and stuff like that, she's not gonna really want to really go out with her friends that much. Like, she's gonna be like, man, let me go home to my husband. Like, let me cater to my husband. You know what I mean? That's what she's gonna want to do. She's not gonna want to go out with her friends, you know, because chances are most of her friends are single, man.
gotta do something because you're leaving too much time on my hands. And if I'm sitting at the house or hanging out and then you still staying out 2, 3 in the morning.
So you don't spend any time with him on the weekend, just hanging with him?
We do. Sometimes in the morning times. And if we plan, when we plan something. Well, when one of my family members called me and, asked me if I was doing anything for the weekend, I asked Mr. Douglas, hey, I got a family member that wants me to go hang out. Do we have anything planned? Oh, no, we don't have nothing planned, so you can go ahead and go. But when that day gets there, then he wants to switch. Well, I thought you was going to sit up and hang out with me, but we didn't have anything planned.
Okay. Well, you said he didn't have anything planned. Why don't you plan something with him?
I've tried that, but guess what? I'm tired. I don't feel like going nowhere. That's what he says. I'm tired of driving. I'm tired of doing this. I've tried to plan things for us. This past weekend, I tried. Guess what he told me? I don't feel like going. I'm tired. I want to sit in the house.
What did you plan?
I mean, there's nothing really wrong with like just wanting to sit in a house, especially if you're like working, like if you're the breadwinner, you know what I mean? Like, it gets tiring, you know. There's nothing wrong with like sitting at the house, you feel me? Like, there's nothing wrong with doing that, you know. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. So, you know. Yeah, so, see, with most of these, like, millennial American women, it's not even about compromise at this point. It's about you pretty much giving your whole self over and giving your dignity and your respect and everything else that comes with you being a man over, unfortunately.
What did you plan?
We sit up there and plan to go, I think it was shopping.
We didn't go shopping for some furniture.
The weekend, that was the weekend beforehand.
But let me ask
But
you.
either way it
Let me
goes,
ask you
we
one
try.
more thing, though. You say he's coming up light with the money.
Yeah, because he's lost a couple of jobs. Not because of him, but because of the company. And the thing is, it's like, okay, I need this certain type of, this type of money. I need this for the light bill. I need this for the water bill. I need this for the rent. $50 is not gonna do nothing.
Do you corner boys come across with
No,
anything?
Well, see, I didn't know
Because they ain't working at all.
Keep in mind though. Keep in mind one thing. Keep in mind this. I want you guys to understand something too. Keep this in mind. When she respects you and stuff like that, when she actually like respects you and respects you as a man, money is not going to be in the conversation. Money is usually not going to be in the conversation. In fact, it's when you give her money, it's when you provide for her more, it's when the disrespect will be even more. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it usually works. Now, the corner boys, they don't have to pay to play, you know, although the fact of the matter is they're probably making like some good money depending on what level they are in the game. You know what I mean? If they're at a level where they're supplying others, then they're making good money. But the thing is, they don't have to they don't have to how should I say it? Like, they don't have to pay, you know, they don't have to pay to play, as I said, you know. That's just how it works most of the time, unfortunately.
Right? No, I mean, if I ask, I can get it. There's no problem with that.
That's why I said this is what you should have did.
But
That's
the
why I
thing,
came
If I ask, I can get it. There's no problem with that. So she's letting you know, like, hey, you know, if I wanted to, like, entertain getting money from them, I would do it. But, you know, she said at the beginning it was just the sex. It's just the sex, basically. She said that at the beginning, you know.
It is just a point that before that even came about up with my corner boys or whatever, he should have be there providing.
I was.
When we first was there in the relationship, he barely provided with my
why
money.
should he provide for you? You sleeping with other dudes. You like other people
That's
better.
correct.
But you don't want to go anywhere with him. You think his sex is dry. What? I mean,
But this was before I started.
Yeah, old-fashioned woman, man. She's just telling it how it is, you know. She's a very old-fashioned woman, telling it what it is, and like, yeah. So, with that being said, she should, like, yeah, just go with them. Just go with them instead of like sticking around with him. But the little money that he does provide, I think that's why she wants to stick around. Like, it's because of the little money that he is available. You know what I mean? So that's why she wants to stick around with him. You know.
Into my relationship or whatever you want to say as far as the other guy. This was beforehand when we first got together, when we first lived together.
So when
he should have been providing, and he was not providing because he was losing. He's done lost. Ever since we've been together, he's probably done lost 3 jobs.
but you know, I usually go to this part a little later on, but y'all don't seem to like each other at all. There's nothing. Seriously, the sex isn't good. You don't have the same friends. You don't go out together. The money isn't right. What?
We do have
His,
the same friends.
his pants aren't sagging for you.
But see, I try to get out of that stage as far as messing with those stuff. When I tell you, Josh is a terrific guy. Don't get me wrong, he is. He's a terrific guy. He's been there for us, provided. My kids see him as their father.
Gotcha.
Because I have.
You never want to get in that situation where her kids see you as the dad. Never get in that situation. Because what happens is, like, in this situation, you may leave, being that you're not married to her. Those kids will suffer twice the loss that they suffered when the first father, kind of like when she was in the Pookie Ray Ray stages with the first father, you know. Because I can assure you, like, Pookie may not be there for the kids. So that's what you have to understand when it comes down to this, right? Let's continue.
One that's 20, and I got a set of twins that's 18.
So I'm going to ask you my questions that I always ask couples because it might help me figure out what's going on here.
So if she's 37 and her kids are 20, one kid is 20 and then the other is 18, that would mean that she had the first kid at 17, I believe. Now the second kids, that means she had them at 19. So she started early with her Pookie and Ray Ray adventures. And you have to ask yourself, like, now the question would be, what was what was her household like? You know, what was her household? What did her household consist of? You know what I mean?
He's a great provider to me and my kids, even though I did do the infidelity that I did do. I love him from the bottom of my heart, and I would never sit up and jeopardize him.
I decided to download Babbel and start learning Spanish.
What they want. But I really want to know from you the answer to these questions. I'm going to start with Mr. Douglas over here. I want you to give me the best 90-second sales job on why Ms. Jones is the woman for you forever and for always.
Despite everything that is going on, like I said, we have had good times. We have had times where there was real love and communication, and we just spent a lot of time with some support there.
Good, but good.
We're comfortable.
The thing is, good times don't really build like solid family bases. So you know what I mean? Like, I can't even cap. Like, it's those times where you're first forced to grow, and those times where you're forced to level up on knowledge and things like that. Like, those are the things that build. Like, those are the things that build a good family structure. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry to say it, but like like that doesn't necessarily build like good family. You know, having, like, how should I say it, having good times, especially when you're dealing with someone who's like essentially for the streets. You know what I mean?
Around each other, we know each other inside out, even if it's not always good. And so, you know, I do love her. I do care about her and the kids, and there's no pressure there when it comes to trying to move on. We can go at our own pace, and we're patient. It's just
10 years, yeah, you're patient.
right, and then yeah. So
Okay. That was a C minus. The use of the past tense is what killed you. We've had good times. More like, well, we've been together so long and it was good at one point, so why not stick with it? Kind of feel to it. Just saying. Ms. Jones, 90-second sales job. Why is Mr. Douglas the man for you?
He treats me like the queen that I am. He's
Okay. And that's another thing too about these American Beledro women. Like, even my dad never referred to his wives as a queen. You know, he never called his wives queen. Even my grandfather, who had multiple wives, he never called them queens. My great grandfather, who had multiple wives, never called them queens. He just said, that's my wife, you know, period. But the amount of self-absorption and entitlement with these Beledro women from the West is what I'm not going to deal with. You know, I'm not going to deal with that. You know what I mean? Like, that's just it. You know, that's when even, and I'm not trying to brag, but even like people who come across me, like in the boxing gym, even people who come across me, like even people who come across me in just like daily walks of life, although I'm really quiet outside of like social media and stuff like that, they all say the same thing. And this is not self-absorption. This is not me being narcissistic or anything, but they just say that, like, you know, you really show that Bisawan Guineans and Cabo Verdeans are built different, you know. And I'm like, yeah, bro. You know, like, we didn't go through struggle for nothing, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I that may be another video for itself, but like, I may show a video about the history of Cape Verdeans in Boston, you know what I mean, in that area, and show how different they were built, bringing civil war to that part of the to Boston and stuff like that. I may do a commentary on that, as a matter of fact. But yeah, I say, yeah, bro, you know, yeah, we're built different, bro. We don't. For the majority of us, we don't tolerate this stuff that goes on. You know, we don't.
He's a,
No
he's
tears
a
coming
great
out
provider
though,
to me and my kids, even though I did do the infidelity that I did do.
and we'll still
I
do.
love him from the bottom of my heart, and I would never sit up there and jeopardize our relationship. And I do love him. Like I said, the man said he knows that it's just the point that he doesn't trust me because of the things that I have done, but I have completely quit it. And I'm trying to show him that for us to
She's like, like, yeah, sure.
passion is for us spending time together. It is me and you. It is me and the kids. It's us as a family.
That touched you, Mr. Douglas, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. But I'm, I mean, I know she loved me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we had some years and stuff like that.
But is it the trust thing? I mean, and I'm not, it's a huge but. I mean, that 2-year infidelity,
Right.
is that the huge stumbling block for you?
All I wanted to know from her was, why did she do it? Because that's the only time that she cheated on me with somebody where she was involved with them for a long time.
Did you get an explanation that satisfied you?
I didn't. It's like when we had talked about it, it was kind of like it wasn't nothing, and that's pretty
And it
much.
wasn't. I mean, I do not have feelings for that guy. I know how to turn my feelings on and off.
No, she just likes the sex. Like, that's the thing. You have to understand something with especially with her. Is that the sex is mind blowing with the guy that she cheated with. The sex that this guy is offering is not the same. And so here's the reason why we're in the situation we're in right now. You know what I mean? So this is the reason why.
And all of our friends know, even though we do have friends, we do have the same friends. Everybody knows how we are about each other. Everybody has been asking us, when are we going to get married? And it's just the point that we know that we're good for each other. It's just the point that sometimes he doesn't believe me. Even though...
So if he gave you a ring today, you'd be all about it. It's a yes for you.
Exactly.
You want to get married, and he can't get past what you did.
That's exactly what
How
it
are
is.
you helping him get past it? That's a big, long, deep hurt there.
Exactly.
And it was just a sex thing, is a very curt and simple response to something that had to be deeper than that.
It was a sex thing, but the thing is, like I said, Josh has a slick mouth. The things that I don't like that he says, that's what makes me run off to things. When he does that, it's like you not being appreciative of me.
So you want to feel good about yourself. The man that you're with
Exactly.
isn't making you feel good, so you go and get that love and affection
From
elsewhere.
somebody else.
Cole, he's my
It's not love and affection. She just wants her back blown out. That's it.
miracle child. So how does your miracle child get cancer?
Affection
From
elsewhere.
somebody else.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something too. Like, a lot of times when guys are single and stuff like that, like, the woman doesn't necessarily matter what they look like, like, because again, as I said in one of my previous commentaries, that a woman doesn't necessarily, like, a guy doesn't necessarily care what the woman looks like in terms of sex. They're already like, okay, well, I have to get it where I can get it. So it's like, okay, F it, I'll just, you know what I mean? Like, go with her, smash her, and that'll be that, like, so you have to understand that when it comes to men, like, men for the most part, they get it where they can get it, so, yeah.
In divorce court, people tell me the most intimate details of their lives. Join the conversation. And I understand about your past. Mr. Douglas, what I think she's trying to do is to be worthy of you. She's trying to live up past who she used to be a woman that you need. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you love her but that 2-year affair is something really tough to get past. Personally, I believe whatever happened is completely and utterly over. Personally, I believe that who she used to be, a woman who could do that to a man as good as you, is no longer there. People do grow. Now, I wouldn't bet my house on it or anything like that. But I do believe she has grown and seen the errors of her bad boys, sagging pants, corner fella ways. I do believe that. But having said that, I must say this. You really gotta trust who you're married to. And if you don't really trust her like that, then it's right not to get married. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's right not to get married. And what you need to decide to do is how you can get him to trust you. You two may need to go into couples therapy. I'm gonna send you somewhere first, because there are people who survive infidelities.
So, I mean, at least the judge is a real one, though. You know, at least the judge is like, because, you know, if she was working with the ops, then she would have just said, yeah, go ahead and get married. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, you know, you can't hold her on for something she did in the past. Yeah, go and marry her. But, you know, seeing this, it shows that this woman, she's not working for the ops. And you know, I have to 110% agree with the points that she made. You know what I mean? And so with that being said, with this being said, I think it's a good thing that you know, she actually said that. And it's also a good thing that she, you know, she actually gave him the option not to get married to her. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna just end on this note. Most like, and not only just Western Belejo women, but also Western Tubac women too, Western Latin women, Western Asian women, they really don't know how to function with, like, when things are just regular, when things are just smooth and everything is smooth sailing. They don't know how to function without non-toxicity for the most part. Now, they'll try to come to this channel and disagree with me and stuff like that because they're triggered and they understand that's what it is, you know. But with that being said, man, y'all leave your thoughts and leave your comments. I know I was long-winded with this, but Fuller signing out. And Jawdama.